No limitations apply, however, to this program, and no limitations applied at all to Justin Rose's game on Thursday on the Masters golf course, which he was playing at a different level than everybody else. And, Dub, we gave some gambling picks, but I wish we'd thought to give out Justin Rose at 100-1. He's been so unhealthy. I think the bigger story is he going to be able to maintain that health? His back, you can just see when guys have bad backs, especially golfers, the way they walk often looks uncomfortable, and it remains to be seen how well he is going to do as, you move through the tournament Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But he is a fairly substantial favorite at this point. 4-stroke lead over everybody else. Nobody played the course anywhere near as well as he did. He had a stretch, Dub, where he went 9 under through the final 11 holes, which was the best I think anybody had done in the final 11 holes at Augusta since 2004. And right now he is the favorite, followed by Jordan Spieth, Hideki Matsuyama, Jon Rahm, Patrick Reed, Justin Thomas, Webb Simpson, Dustin Johnson, and Brian Harmon, all in order there. If you go to FanDuel.com/Clay, you can get bets in. That's effectively the top 10. You are a golf guru. You love it. You watch it all the time, every tournament, even the ones that aren't as big as the Masters. Couple of storylines I'm going to bring you in, Dub, to have you basically analyze it for us. Bryson DeChambeau doesn't take over Augusta. He didn't do it in November either. He was a big favorite. Rory McIlroy, it's so out of control. He hit his dad with a golf shot, which was a crazy coincidence. Jordan Spieth finishes strong. He's in the mix, as we just said. But the big story here, and I'll start with this one, is, in your mind, Justin Rose going to be able to keep this kind of consistency up at the top of the leaderboard, or do you think this is a phantom lead that is going to evaporate sooner rather than later?
Well, it's a great question, and what makes his round yesterday all the more impressive was the fact that he was playing in the afternoon slate. And in the afternoon, I'm not sure if you noticed, it was playing much more difficult than the morning was, because if you look at the leaderboard, a vast majority of the guys that are under par teed off in the morning. I guess it firmed up a little bit in the afternoon. I'm not exactly sure why the case. It just got faster and firmer as the day went on. And Justin Rose on the back 9, starting with his eagle at number 8, just lit it up. Now, will he be able to run the table and win this golf tournament from here on out? I'm not sure. I have my doubts just because of his health, and his recent form has really not been all that spectacular. But I think this is set up to be a fantastic weekend of golf. I wouldn't imagine seeing the winning score being, too far into the double digits under par like last year was when DJ took it home at 20 under.
So as you work through and break all of this down, Jordan Spieth seems like he has fought his way back into managing to be a top contender. But what is going on with Rory McIlroy? I mean, it seemed like he was kind of rounding into form, and maybe he'll bounce back after a really bad first day on Friday. But you watch golf all the time. What is the story here?
Yeah, well, I mean, Rory, I think one big thing that I've heard and a lot of people in the golf media world have been talking about is he's been trying to add more distance ever since Bryson DeChambeau's come onto the scene with his new added distance. And it kind of doesn't really make any sense why Rory would even worry about that, seeing as he was already one of the longest players in the entire world and one of the best players in the entire world. But this has been going on for a while now. He hasn't found the winner's circle since 2019, I believe, which is hard to imagine when you consider what this guy was doing 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, the guy is an absolute machine, but right now his form is so bad. But if you're a big Rory McIlroy fan, and there's a lot of people out there that are, the last 2 years at the Masters, he's shot over par in the first round, similar to what he did yesterday. But he's gone on to finish strong and shoot under par in the following 3 rounds. So I wouldn't necessarily count Rory out of this quite yet. Last year he had a very similar first round and came back and battled and had a top 10 finish. So it's not totally panic mode yet if you're Rory McIlroy, just based off recent history at this tournament, but he does not look good. He does not have total control of this golf ball, which is what you definitely need at this course and at this tournament.
What about Bryson DeChambeau? There was all this talk that he was going to come in and revolutionize Augusta. That was happening back in November. It was happening again this year. In fact, he had moved himself all the way up to one of the favorites to be able to win this tournament. He goes out and he shoots a +4. What did you see from him? Did he look like he was in control of his game in any way, or would you write him off at this point from contending at Augusta?
Well, he got in trouble early in his round. There was a couple of wayward shots off the tee. Specifically at the par 3 fourth, his ball he just lost it into the brush, lost ball, double bogey there. He's such an enigma to me at Augusta because on paper, the way this course is laid out, which is why he was such a heavily favorite in November and why he was among the favorites this year, you would think it suits his game absolutely perfectly with the par 5s being able for him to take advantage of. And the thing that's really kind of killed him at Augusta, his best finish, by the way, was in 2016 when he played there as an amateur, which is hard to believe. He finished tied for 21st in that event. That's his best finish ever at Augusta. He wasn't even a professional golfer yet. I think his trouble's on the greens. He's been missing a lot of makeable putts, and he hasn't quite figured out the green complexes yet. But like I said, Rory McIlroy last year, he kind of had a bounce back. He made the cut on the number and had a decent tournament. But in terms of performance versus expectation, he is way off the board here.
DJ, Dustin Johnson, do you think he's still in the mix or not?
I absolutely do. DJ played really solid yesterday. He had a really bad 3-putt on 18 yesterday to finish his round and make a double bogey to finish it 2 over. But anytime Dustin Johnson is within 10 shots of a lead after one round, especially at a course where he's shown the success that he has in the past, and considering Justin Rose has been in the form that he has been prior to yesterday and his health especially, I still think this tournament is wide open. I'll just put it this way. I would not bet on Justin Rose to win this event.
Yeah, it's intriguing to think about how exactly it might all shake down. Again, I'm looking right now at the tee times. I believe we've got some early tee times coming. Within the next hour, people are going to start teeing off, and we'll start to figure out who's going to be making a run up the leaderboard as we head into the weekend. We got a lot to get to, by the way. That is Dub breaking down everything in the world of the Masters, his favorite sporting event, I think you said, of the year. Anything else that stands out to you about the first day of the Masters?
The first day, no, but I'm looking forward to today because, as a lot of people know, the guys that went off in the morning yesterday will go off in the afternoon today and vice versa. So if Justin Rose, if the conditions are similar today as they were yesterday, I mean, he could have an opportunity to shoot another good score. But like I said, I'm not going to jump to the conclusion that this is Justin Rose's tournament to lose quite yet. I think we'll know a lot by the end of today, I think.
I mean, I think by noon, because Justin Rose tees off at 9:36 Eastern in the morning. So if he were going to have another round like he did on Thursday, we would know soon about what exactly is going to take place with him. We'll know what kind of number he's likely to post by 1 o'clock or so, because he'll be done and into the weekend, presumably, and it should be interesting to see how that shakes out for him because he finished late and he'll start early. Other big news story that is out there, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more maybe at the top of the second hour of the program, the NFL draft. We are now, and I'm trying to do the math, I think 20 days away from the first round of the NFL draft, a little bit under 3 weeks. And there's starting to be some situations firming up a little bit. We know already Trevor Lawrence going to go number 1 overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We know in the second spot that Zach Wilson is going to go number 2 overall to the Jets. The question is, what's going to happen with the third pick? We know that the San Francisco 49ers traded up to get the Dolphins pick in order to be able to draft a quarterback. And yesterday, we started to see some big movement in the odds market suggesting that Mac Jones is going to be the 49ers pick. Now, there'll be some criticism about that. I'm going to talk about it at the top of the second hour. Some people out there are going to run around and they're going to say, hey, this is wild. What in the world are the 49ers thinking with Mac Jones? That happens basically for any quarterback now, right? people think that they have figured out who's going to be a success, who's not going to be a success. And effectively every year you just flip a coin and some guys end up being good and the other guys end up being bad. And nowadays nobody will actually stick to the guys that they draft. I mean, you got Sam Darnold gone after 3 years with the Jets. You've got Josh Rosen gone after 1 year. You got Dwayne Haskins gone after we can't even get to 2 years. Nobody is standing behind their quarterbacks for very long at this point. But I do think it's an intriguing question as now Mac Jones appears to have emerged as the gambling market favorite for who is going to be the third overall pick. What does that mean for Atlanta, who is sitting there at 4? If Justin Fields and Trey Lance are available, is some other team in love with one of these guys? Could they make an aggressive move to try to come up and get them? That is a story that may emerge as the biggest in the world of the NFL draft as we continue to count down the days. I'm going to talk about that Falcon decision. I'll go ahead and tell you at the top of the second hour. Loaded program. Going to be joined by Lance Taylor, my buddy from 94.5 Jocks down in Birmingham next. We're going to talk to Chantel McCabe, formerly from the Golf Channel, in the second hour, and then Paul Kaharski from the Outkick 360 will join us in the third hour. All of that headed your direction. This is Outkick. Thanks for hanging with us on Fox Sports Radio.